Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We will start this video with following up on the suspicious helicopter crash that took place in New York City in Hudson River. And as you know, the Siemens executive died in that suspicious to me, and not just me, helicopter crash, including his wife and 3 children. I want to say first and foremost that my audience, you guys, are absolutely incredible. And that's why I believe that we learn from one another and we have to share the news and the comments, because at the end of the day, we will somehow connect at least some dots. So let's start with the comments, because they are just absolutely great. And I appreciate you so much for leaving those comments. I think I will go through 2 of them. The first one, you actually left a number of them. Michael Taylor, thank you so much, Michael. You confirmed something that I was thinking was the case, because that executive from Siemens, he just signed a deal with Trump to invest in America. So let's take a look at that deal. What was this deal about? Then we will go to the second comment that is also fantastic. And this is the official Siemens statement from March. Let me see, do you see the date here? Yes, it's right here, March 6th this year. Siemens boosting US investments by more than $10 billion for American manufacturing jobs, software and AI infrastructure. So what is in this deal? With recent investments, Siemens surpasses $100 billion in total US investment over the past 20 years. New and expanded factories in Texas and California expected to create over 900 skilled manufacturing jobs, more than doubling production capacity of electric equipment to power critical American infrastructure, such as AI data centers, and biggest ever investment in industrial software and AI with planned acquisition of Altor Engineering. So there we have it officially. And, you know, he was part of Siemens and they just signed a deal with Trump. But the next comment, it's so on point that I feel truly a bit ashamed that I didn't pay attention to it. So let's take a look at this one right here. Let me just scroll down and find it. And thank you so much to everyone for leaving the comments and for the donation here as well. So let's see, it's from Richard Kuntz. Anya, English is a strange language. Some words in English actually mean something, such as the difference between killed and died. Those people died in the crash. If they were killed, someone killed them. I would think the publisher of the article would know that in English, words actually mean something. You're so right on track, because how I did not pay attention to it. This is my video. And this was the article that I was sharing with you. Who was Agustin Escobar? Siemens executive killed in New York chopper crash. All right, so here is the question. Is it mistake that they use killed instead of died, which I absolutely agree with Richard that left that comment? Or maybe they are telling us what took place, but we are just simply not paying attention. So I will continue to follow through on this topic, because I believe there is much more to it. And just by the way, did you know there was another plane crash just about 13 hours ago or so? It was in Boca Raton in Florida. 3 people died or were killed, God only knows now. And all of them, 2 men and a woman. Last name was Stark. And I was just thinking, are there some kind of lawyers or, you know, other VIP people, important people? Who knows? Maybe you know. You can leave in the comments down below. Now, what I want to go to is the meeting between Witkoff and Putin, but then I want to go to a very important topic, and that is human trafficking and those missing children, 400,000, if not more. that are missing in the United States that illegally cross the border. This will be an interview with Alina Haba. But before we go there, I want to read you an article from TASS about the meeting that took place yesterday. This is President Putin and Steve, his name is Steve or Steven? Steve Witkoff in Moscow. So let's read this article from yesterday. US sees Witkoff talks in Russia as step toward Ukrainian settlement, White House said. Actually, that was during the press conference in the White House that I watch pretty much daily with Caroline Levitt. And the White House press secretary Caroline Levitt did not provide additional details about these contacts. So what she said, the Washington administration considers US Presidential Special Envoy Steve Witkoff's trip to Russia and his meeting with Russian leader Vladimir Putin as another step towards a ceasefire and a final settlement in Ukraine, White House press secretary Caroline Levitt told reporters. Quoting her, "I can confirm that Mr. Witkoff is in Russia to have direct communications with the Kremlin and with Vladimir Putin. This is another step in the negotiating process towards a ceasefire and ultimate peace deal in Russia and Ukraine." She did not provide additional details about those contacts. She pointed out, as these negotiations are ongoing, I obviously will not get ahead of President Trump or his team. I think the president has been quite clear that has been continually frustrated with both sides of this conflict, and he wants to see this fighting, and he wants the war to end. We believe we have leverage in negotiating a deal to a peace deal, and we're going to use that leverage. The president is determined to see it through, and that is the statement from Washington. I don't know if Witkoff stayed there overnight or he didn't, or he returned the very same day, but that's all I have from TASS. I hope I shared this with you. I think I did. Now let me go to the video that I just mentioned. This was an interview taken some time ago with Alina Haba, who is a lawyer currently serving as acting US attorney of the District of New Jersey. She comes from New Jersey, as well as she is a counselor to President Trump. So let's take a listen. This is about human trafficking, something that I think doesn't have enough attention from people everywhere, not on YouTube, not in media. I don't know why, but let's listen to what she has to say about those missing children.
I've seen that there were children that were placed in fake sponsor homes under HHS, and then they would go visit to see if these children were safe, and the children were not there.
In this episode, I'm sitting down with Alina Haba, counselor to President Donald Trump. 500,000
counsel's office. I don't act as an attorney for White House counsel's office, but I am a senior advisor. So I'm involved in a lot of things. I sit in on a lot of meetings, and have my opinion heard when needed or asked for, and get to work on a great portfolio as well that I got to select.
Well, so one of the key things, and I've seen you talk about this with passion, like you want to make your mark in this, is to make a dent in this whole human trafficking question. Give me a sense of where we're at right now.
Well, I've been working extensively over the past few weeks with Tom Homan, Kristi Noem's team, Department of Homeland Security, and as well with RFK, with Secretary Kennedy, because there are so many parts of our government that touch on this. There's obviously cybersecurity issues. There's the trafficking themselves, the Border Patrol, Customs, et cetera. And then there's, of course, the enforcement, which is DOJ. So where we're at is that the last administration left us in shambles, left these children in shambles. A lot of them were trafficked misleadingly trafficked over the border when the borders were wide open, were displaced from their families, and then found themselves in vulnerable positions where they were sex trafficked, labor trafficked. I call it really human extortion. It's not just trafficking, it's everything. There's cyber trafficking. So I've spent the past almost 2 months now really understanding where this country is, how bad this is. And now we're in the phase of let's get these kids home, let's get them better, let's capture their captors, and let's prosecute the Johns that are sick, that are pedophiles. And this is not just minors, these are adults as well.
The numbers that I've heard, it's about 500,000 unaccompanied minors. There's still others that came in, accompanied. And I heard something to the tune of 80,000 that may have actually been at least found, maybe not physically, but just their locations are known. Is there an update on the status of that?
Well, we're in the process of getting some more homes, so I won't disclose because it's, obviously we're in the process of getting warrants and things of that nature. But we've done a tremendous job already. One of the key things that this administration did that Joe Biden's administration neglected to do and actually changed from the first Trump administration was DNA testing. So they removed the ability to do DNA testing. They got rid of it. So people were coming in with their alleged parents, aunts, uncles, whomever, and were never actually tested to verify that the people that were bringing them into this country were not part of a cartel, were not purchasing children to bring them in for malicious reasons. We have since then, since we came into office, put back in the DNA testing, made sure that we are checking to make sure these children have relations to the individuals that are claiming to have some.
And just to be clear, so you want to focus specifically on the child trafficking question?
No, I'm focused on human extortion, which includes child trafficking. It's any individual, no matter what age, that is being sex trafficked, that is being financially extorted via means of cyber, Skype, for instance, and Johns that are Skyping with minors, and sometimes it's transnational, to have a cyber interactive, which is something I really didn't understand until I came here, cyber interactive pornography, dictating for others to hurt children, sick things that are unfortunately a reality of the world that we're living in. So it's much broader than that. It's not just child trafficking. It's really human extortion. Some are forced into labor that come in because they need money and in ungodly conditions. All of that.
I really appreciate how you were saying that this is a complex issue that involves multiple agencies working together, different databases. There's a complexity of getting the information together. I mean, I'm aware of, at least some cases where there's even kids that have deportation orders against them. I'm sure that'll be resolved, but just because of that complexity of the different agencies looking at the whole question from different angles.
Yeah, and I think there's one part too that I haven't discussed, which is under Secretary Kennedy, which is the rehabilitation, the placing these children in homes, sponsor homes. Again, another disaster from the last administration. I've seen that there were children that were placed in fake sponsor homes under HHS, and then they would go visit to see if these children were safe, and the children were not there. So effectively, they were being re-trafficked. We're working extensively with both public and private sector individuals that are willing to help get these children safety, get them rehabilitated, which includes therapy, which includes medical treatment, and get them into secure homes. And that's something, again, the Biden administration just completely screwed up, for lack of a better word. And to take a child who's, for instance, sex trafficked, and then tell them that we're going to save you, and then put them in a sponsor home and then have them re-trafficked is the single most failure, the largest failure of an administration, in my opinion. You are taking these kids out of one problem and putting them into another. And it's just absolutely negligent.
You have this huge passion for this.
Absolutely speechless, right? And I think we all know what's been going on, and it continues to go on. And just a side note here, I think many of you know, as far as underage girls Hunter, one of those. We know, right? I think at the end of the day, what will unite people is the children. So no matter you like Trump, you don't like Trump, when you see things that will be coming out about those politicians, all those people that, you know, maybe you used to admire or you still do, and you see what they have been involved in or they were quiet about, but they could speak about or do something about, and you will be absolutely disgusted. And you finally will wake up to what's going on, right? That's all I have for you, everyone. Human trafficking needs much more attention, and people have to talk about it. Because I know wars and weapons and all of that, but at the end of the day, this is one of the biggest crimes against humanity. Thank you so much for watching, for hitting thumbs up, for subscribing to my channel. The links will be attached down below in the description box, as they always are. If you support me, you can do it on Patreon or become a member of my channel. With this being said, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.